commitment to the success of the project, adding that microfinance is the provision of financial services to low-income earners. The Visaka concept is one of the strategies being promoted by government to eradicate poverty. The idea creates opportunity for farmers access both short and medium-term loans through savings. Sanyang calls for thorough appraisal of loans and fulfillment of ethics of best practices of microfinance such as presentation of collaterals in order to enhance effective loan recovery from potential defaulters. The community later adopted a 12-member management committee to oversee the operations of the village Visaka. For Grts News, this is Babukar Senghor.
Yorubas in the Gambia now have a new traditional leader. Oba Moshood Kolawole Babalola Abolade was enthroned on Saturday at a colorful ceremony attended by Oba Kabiru Kolawole Alani Adelaja Agbiaka of Osol Kingdom of Lagos State, Nigeria. Babukar Senghor again.
They flew all the way from Nigeria to preside over the coronation ceremony of the first Yoruba Oba in the Gambia. The fanfare and pageantry that greeted this was immense. The Yoruba community in the Gambia is a vibrant one. Yoruba bigwigs who presided over the grand event spoke glowingly of the history of the Yoruba people, their insistence on building unity as the bedrock of their successful cohesion as a group.
It has about 12 dialects. They are well-organized group with genius in art and symbolized in the famous Ife bronze. The Yoruba people are also found in Togo. The Yoruba people are found in Benin Republic. The Yoruba people are found in Sierra Leone. The Yorubas are found in the Gambia and in other parts of the world, including Cuba, Brazil, Trinidad, and the United States of America.
Oba Kabiru Kolawale Alani Adelaja Akpabeka, the Osolo of Isolo Kingdom of Lagos State, Nigeria, on behalf of his colleagues, commended the people of the Gambia for the hospitality accorded him and his delegation.
You are proud of the Yoruba sons and daughters resident here in the Gambia because of the excellent report you have gathered about them from the levels of the government down to the Gambian people. This gives us the assurance that this coronation exercise will go a long way in cementing further diplomatic and cultural ties between the Gambians and the Nigerian government and people.
Paramount Chief Demba Sanyang applauded the Yoruba people for the preservation of their rich cultural heritage. Culture, Paramount Chief Sanyang went on, is integral to the Gambia's development endeavors.
Praise! How much the National Council of Self-Follow is been very pleased to learn a grade from this rich ethic since their arrival in the Gambia. But I will tell you, by grace of Almighty Allah and our visionary leader, these two great nations, the Gambia and Nigeria, the sky will be our limit.
The cultural transformation and progression of the Yoruba is a historic event that members see is here to stay.
On behalf of my people and my humble self, we sincerely thank and appreciate the accommodative gesture of great son of Africa, His Excellency, the President Jammeh. Today marks another historic dimension in cultural staying power of Yoruba people as represented by its good people in the Gambia. This monumental occasion will mark the beginning of a solid partnership and interactions among Yoruba race and other cultural diversity in the Gambia.
The Nigerian High Commissioner in the Gambia, Esther John Odu, expressed delight at the continued peace and tranquility that prevails in the Gambia, something the Nigerian diplomat sees makes the Gambia a home for Nigerians. High Commissioner Odu also reminded the gathering of the important roles traditional authority plays in society.
Don't be found wanting in any way. Our dear wives, the Nigerian wives, Niger wives, here in the Gambia, and in particular the ones married to Yorubas, I must say from today, you will start learning to understand the Yoruba culture and all other cultures from Nigeria.
The coronation ceremony saw the decoration of other chiefs by the newly ordained Oba. For GRTS News, this is Babukar Senghor.
You can also follow that story and other GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. That takes us to our first break. We'll be right back.
His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji
Reverend Hannah Karen Falheim.
In the words of the permanent secretary,
there is direct relationship between the economic growth of a country.
And this 5-hectare maize field that you are seeing here in Ilyasa village.
No matter how, where, when and who is involved, our corps of reporters will always be there to bring you the news as it happens.
Welcome back. French President François Hollande, socialists and allies are heading for an absolute majority to push through tough fiscal returns after the first round of parliamentary elections. That's according to exit polls, which also saw a resurgence of Marine Le Pen's National Front, which wants to ditch the euro. The Socialist Party and its Green allies are set to win a total of about 40% of the vote, as opposed to former President Nicolas Sarkozy's UMP party. We have more in this report.
Underway as soon as polls closed. Officials said turnout was likely to be much lower than in recent presidential elections, at well below 50%. The legislative elections are François Hollande's first test since he won the presidential poll last month. The socialist needs a majority in the National Assembly to enact his reform agenda. Early projections put Hollande well ahead. He looks likely to take control of the Assemblée Nationale with his Green Party allies. There was little chance for the conservative UMP party to maintain its dominance after former President Nicolas Sarkozy's defeat in the presidential election. It was a chance for voters to show how strongly they want new government.
It's important to have coherence. It's a chance to strengthen the results of the presidential elections now with the legislative vote. A counterpower is needed to the president, but he has to prove himself. France wants a change. They got rid of the former president, so we'll give this one a chance.
The actual composition of the assembly won't be clear until after next week's runoff. The main question from the outset for Hollande was whether his socialists would win control of parliament or have to depend on Greens and perhaps even the more radical left-wing parties.
Spanish Prime Minister is calling for his request for a massive bank bailout for a major victory for the euro. Mariano Rajoy said the money will be used to shore up Spain's shaky financial sector and will stave off an even larger bailout. Spain is asking for 100 billion euro in aid, but many Spaniards argue the money should go to those who have been hard hit in these truly tough economic times and not the banks. Details in this report.
It could have been much worse. That's the message from Mariano Rajoy to the Spanish people. He says Spain would have needed far more help if it hadn't been for his reforms. He's presenting Saturday's deal as a win all around.
Yesterday was a win for euro credibility. It was a victory for the future of the euro and the EU. It was a win for Spain that will allow us to reach the credit levels necessary to boost investment and employment.
Rajoy is stressing that the bailout is targeted at the Spanish banking sector and not the government as a whole. That means no impositions of austerity and no humiliation, as one paper put it. But some Spaniards would rather see EU money go to alleviate the suffering of the people and not to prop up the banks. It's bad. Conditions will continue to get worse for us because instead of the banks footing the bill, we are.
The news of the bailout is a disgrace. If I were Angela Merkel, I would demand that Bankia be held accountable. And the Spanish bankers should all be put in prison.
The Eurozone assistance is intended to send a signal to markets that the debt crisis is under control. But some financial analysts